What's up, YouTube? For the love here again with a smartphone review. This time for the iPhone 10, iPhone X, whichever you prefer. After the hype. Now, see, got some dust on the screen there. The iPhone 10, iPhone, Apple products, I was a fan like everybody else when the first iPhone dropped. One of the most revolutionary tech items ever made. I really enjoyed it. I bought the 4, bought the 4S, while Samsung was making bigger screens for less money. But I still went with the smaller screen because it was Apple. I had an iMac and I had a MacBook, try to stay in the ecosystem. While Samsung was continuing to innovate, I still was buying iPhones, having fun, enjoying myself. But then I seen, that the screen size was really small for the content that was available at the time. Not saying that it wasn't, excellent, but Samsung was constantly producing better devices with better screen size, more features for less money. But we were still buying iPhones. Now, here we are today in 2017, a few months after the hype of the iPhone 10 finally dropping. They got rid of the headphone jack. Got rid of the headphone button. The home button. Home button's not a big deal. You can put a pressure sensitive button on, just like on the Note 8 and other devices. So you still have a button, a pseudo button. So it's not, that dramatic of a deal. But I don't like paying the same price for less. That's just me. Don't like paying the same price for less. My wife loves iPhones, so I got an iPhone. Took it for a spin, just to check it out. She could take it or leave it. She would have rather stayed where she was at, which was the 6S. She didn't even buy the 7 or the 8. She wasn't interested in either of them. So I didn't push her. But this time I said, listen, the 10 is where the future is going. Apple's not going to all of a sudden do a 180 and go back. They're going to keep going forward. So the home button is gone. The headphone jack is gone. So you might as well, give it a shot. If you don't like it, you can take it back. If push comes to shove, or send it back. So that's where we are. So this is the 256 gigabyte version. Let's hold that on there. 256 gigabyte version, space gray. And, she's been using it a couple weeks now. She got it later. Waited till all the hype died down and I convinced her to go get one. The gesture thing. Gesture thing's not a big thing. Like I said, I dealt with it for a couple of days just to see how it was so I can have some knowledge, and speak on knowledge rather than ignorance. I put it through its paces, set it up for the just to see how all the mechanics of the phone worked. And the gestures are not that big of a deal. The swipe up, swipe. It's not daunting. You have to, it's a little bit of a learning curve, of course, as it is with most new things. Some tricks you have to do a little bit differently. But, so for this few weeks, the problems that we've had are as follows. The SIM card kept saying no SIM available. And I noticed inside the tray when I was, setting up the phone, when I put the SIM, it's the micro SIM now, like most phones, that it had just a minute bit of gap in between the tray and the card. And most SIM cards almost click in. For some reason, Apple's, product, I don't know, the specifications, the fit just wasn't quite right. The quality control just wasn't quite right. But I didn't think anything of it. But every time, a couple times a day, my wife would call home and say, oh, the phone was off for a while. I couldn't get it to find a SIM. So I said, oh, it's probably just a SIM card. But, my wife being my wife, most women, they're not, tech savvy. So, I didn't want to go to all the ins and outs. But, probably need to adjust the SIM card because I noticed it was a little bit of a, a gap. So did that. I went back in, adjusted it. I have our OtterBox case. So the OtterBox case is hard to get off. The OtterBox Defender, as a matter of fact, which I'll show you in a second. It's part of it. And this happened quite a few times. And at one point, I tried to turn the phone off, turn it back on. I actually did a full reset to try out to get it to work. It still didn't work. Took it to the Apple store, said there's nothing they could do. They didn't find anything wrong with it, this and that. Obviously, there's something wrong with it if it keeps saying that the SIM's not, available. Anyway, I did a reset. When I did the reset, the phone actually crashed, and I could not get the phone to operate. I mean, I couldn't get the phone to turn off. I couldn't get it to turn on. The screen was just black. You could hear it when you plug it up to the computer or plug it up to the charger, but the screen was completely black, so I had no interaction with it. And by not having a home button, that's one of the drawbacks. You can press that button and do it. But now, I'm going to educate you to something if you didn't know. You press volume up, volume down, power. Volume up, volume down, power. Just like that, pretty quickly in succession to get the phone to reset. Now, me being me and not being in the Apple ecosystem anymore, not being an Apple device man anymore, I didn't know that. I had to look it up, check, see what I could do. So I kept trying to press it. I couldn't get the rhythm just right. Then I finally got it right, cut back on. And for whatever reason, the SIM problem seems to be fixed now. She hasn't had it since. And this was for the first week that she got the phone, constant, no SIM available issues. She even went back and got a new SIM from AT&T, which is my provider. So that was the one issue. That's the only issue she said so far. She said the notch really doesn't bother her that much, but what does bother her is that the screen is not necessarily so much smaller, but it's so much thinner. It's not as wide as the previous 6S and the 8. Even though those big, giant, ugly, blocks at the top and the bottom are not as big, the screen is thinner in ratio. And I said, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that, because I'm thinking more screen, but it is more screen lengthwise, but not widthwise. So she didn't like that, but everything else seems to be working fine. So I bought her these Apple AirPods to go with it. 170 something dollars, sold out everywhere. Let's move that over. With tax, I think they're $159, but I live in Philly, so it's 6% sales tax, so it was 170 something, 71. Only one store in the whole Pennsylvania had them. I don't understand. Everybody complains about how ugly they were, how goofy they were, how this and how that, but yet and still they sold out everywhere. Now I don't know if Apple is playing a numbers game where the numbers are low, so it can seem like they're selling a lot more. But either way, I couldn't find them anywhere. I found them at that one store. She picked them up. I didn't interact with the earbuds. I asked her about them, see how she liked them. She said they were fine. They sound good. I'm sure they're on par with the earbuds because it's the same design. I don't think it would have any more bass or any more, volume or anything. So she said she liked those though. And the way that the AirPods interact with the phone was a very nice touch. It's the small things from Apple that make you want to buy it. Their marketing and their interaction with their devices is top notch. I mean, among the best, if not the best. So, you can't knock them for that. So I bought those. I bought an OtterBox Defender because she works, and she needs a clip. So that's that. It's a 3-piece case. Everybody knows how it works. Clicks on, has the clip. She does use it, so she can use the stand when she's viewing her media. Always a good thing. Keeps it from falling down to the ground as much because it's clipped onto your belt. So, that's a good thing. And it keeps the phone well protected. You could throw this phone, down the street and nothing's going to happen to it. As long as you have a screen protector on it, it doesn't hit something that's sticking out of the wall, out of the ground. It should be just fine. So that's that. So now I purchased her because I bought a Rhino Shield case and I enjoyed it and I enjoy it. I don't know if it would be as protective for her because she's not as frivolous, or not frivolous. Frivolous is not the word. She's not as caring. Not frivolous. She's frivolous with the use of it, but she's not as caring with the phone. And I bought her this, the Mod case. I love it. I love it because I have the crash guard and I have the back and, all that on my Note 8, which I'm filming this on. So I bought her one of these in blue because she has the OtterBox in black. I think that was, I think I paid $30 something for it. So I figured that was a good deal, has the clear back and everything. So her experience, my experience with the iPhone 10 so far, after all the hype, a lot of people saying they're taking it back. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. I can't see anything that it lacks at, speed wise. She said it was about the same. Like I said, the notch isn't that big of a deal to her. It doesn't get on her nerves like, everyone says. The camera, I don't even know if she's used it or not, to be honest with you. not to its fullest advantage because it's a good camera. You know, the reviews say so, and I believe so. Apple's always been pretty good with their camera applications. So, you know, the AirPods, I bought this little cord to hold them together just in case she ever wanted to do it, but she hasn't used yet. And I bought one of these pouches to cover up the pouch itself because it's a white pouch like this, but it's hard plastic, so it's going to get scratched up pretty bad. So I bought her one of these for that to go into. I think it's like $10 for both of these on eBay. All right. And those are all the things I bought her. But, you know, and it seems like she's having fun with the phone. Like I said, it's a space gray version. Let's wipe this off before I show it to you. All these fingerprints on the back. And on the front, I'll hold it from the top and the bottom. Aesthetically, Apple makes some of the best devices. Let's be honest. Look at that. Look at that gunmetal or dark, almost black with the gray glass back. They went back to the glass after Samsung came to the glass, after they left the glass with the iPhone 4 so they can get wireless charging, which they relate to. Apple's always spoon-feeding its customers things. You know, like I said, I want the most for my money. I don't want to be spoon-fed anything. I want you to hand it to me when it's available and let me decide, you know, whether I like it or I don't. They decide what they like and what they like for you. You know, but to each his own. So, nothing else I can say about it. Like I said, the build quality seems to be good other than the SIM card error. I haven't had any other errors, no lines, no screen blackouts, no turn-offs, no nothing. Device is in pretty good condition from being inside the outer box. Screen, there we are with the fingerprints again. Get those off so you can see it in all its glory. The outer box seems to be doing a pretty good job. No scratches on the back on the glass. No scratches on the side. So everything seems to be going well. And that's about it. I'll review this. You know, if anybody watches this video, I'll give you a look at the mod case. Do a little review on that. AirPods. Everybody's heard about the AirPods. Like I said, you know, nothing different. I'll give you a quick video is going to run a little longer. Take these out here. Take these out of the plastic. Yeah, second here. Slide these out. AirPods, nothing new. Everybody's seen video about the AirPods. Take these and I'm going to slip these in here so this case doesn't get all damaged and scratched up. Keep it looking nice, and that's how that looks. Very nice. Looks stock almost. And it's funny because Apple didn't make this. It's funny how they get so much money that they don't care about the additional accessories. It just boggles my mind how this doesn't come with a $1,149 phone. You have to pay another $160 for these plus tax, where, you know, depending on where you live, how much your tax is. So that's that and those. They actually did give you a charger, which I appreciated because I wasn't even sure if that came in the box because I didn't look. I just let her do it. Yeah, but that's my 2 cents on the iPhone 10, iPhone X, whichever you prefer. And as always, it's for the love. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And whatever you do, do it for the love.